Director for AARP North Dakota, and she's here to discuss some of the latest schemes to watch out for. Good morning and welcome back to North Dakota Today.
Good morning.
You know, we find it difficult sometimes, at least I do. You want to make a phone call and I want to talk to a person directly, but sometimes you get nothing but if you want this, punch one, if you want this to do, punch two, et cetera, et cetera. So maybe going online is the easier thing to do, but that can lead to some problems.
It can. I think you're right. I think some of us, when we're having problems, customer service-wise, we want to talk to somebody face-to-face or over the phone. But the best thing is, you know, criminals know that. They know we go online. They know we go to search for the customer service phone number. And they use that to prey upon people because, you know, they're going to pose as a, you know, legitimate website, and they're going to maybe put a pop-up ad that, you know, comes up really quickly on your search. And so they do that, and then they you know, they're imposters. They act like they're the actual company you're trying to call, and from there it just kind of spirals out of control, and you end up, you know, down this hole of they're not really who you thought you were talking to, when you really just had a question about something related to something you bought or your credit card.
And you know, Janelle, what's so scary about that, we've been taught for years and years and years, if it's an incoming call to you, be wary. But if you're making the call and you get somebody that's not legit, that's on the other side of the coin. So, I mean, you really, really have to be careful. What are some telltale signs that we should be looking out for? You
know, you're right. You want to, if you're wanting to talk to somebody customer service related, if you have an online account, log on to the account. Find the actual phone number. Go into your account, use the password protected to get onto your account. Or if you have a previous statement that you've received from that company, look at the contact information on that previous statement. I think the problem is, or if you do want to search online, because a lot of us are just so programmed now to search online, type in the actual company's website. Don't go to a search engine like Google to do that. Just go in and type their actual company address. So you're then going to make sure that you're reaching who you're trying to contact.
That's a really good point, because often we'll just type in, you know, let's say you're looking for an excavating company, you're looking for a specific business. What pops up as that company may not be the legitimate site, as opposed to if you go to their direct websites.
Exactly.
Okay, let's say that you get to Fred's Excavating and you think that's who you've got, but you find out it is a scam. What are some steps that you should do?
The best thing is to cut off conversation at that point in time. You know, and I think the other thing is to report it. I think a lot of people, when they figure out that they've been scammed, they don't want to report it. They're either embarrassed or they're you know, fearful of what else could happen. But I think if we report people to the Consumer Protection to say, and also contacting the company directly. You know, often we don't think that that's going to remedy a solution, but contacting the company directly, again, either by logging onto your account or going to their legitimate website to say, hey, there's somebody out there posing as you and really scheming us and trying to, you know, prey upon us when we're asking for legitimate customer service.
I agree with that, and I think that's very important, and I wouldn't have thought about it until I read some of your literature, but let that company know, hey, somebody is portraying you. And I know a business here in town, as a matter of fact, we have them on every other weekend. That happened to Aero Service Team one time, where somebody was acting as their representative when he had nothing to do with them. So, you know, depending on how you get a hold of them, you know, be very, very careful about that.
Well, they're going to want to know. They're going to want to fix it. They're not going to want their customers, legitimate customers, being, you know, schemed out of money. They want to know so that they potentially can put a stop to it as the business themselves. So.
You know, this year, Heidi had a graphic on Country Morning Today this morning talking about the high level of tornadoes that have been going on in the state this year. It's the highest number we've had, I think, since 2011. So there's been some natural disaster type things going on. Scammers really prey on that, don't they?
They do, and we have had a strange summer for that, and it looks like today could, you know, have the ingredients for that as well. But, you know, whenever there are natural disasters, look at North Dakota. Hailstorms, tornadoes. You know, folks will, after a natural disaster like that, they'll pack up their stuff and they'll go neighborhood by neighborhood and start to really try to, you know, get business if you need new shingles or if you need new gutters. And I think what you need to be, as a consumer, as an individual living in a state that might be prone to disasters, is call your insurance company ahead of time to find out, if something were to happen, what are my steps to remedy that? You know, make a good phone call to your company, find out those steps, know what to prepare for. But again, if someone comes door to door offering services, I think the best thing to do is do your research, investigate. Do they have a contractor's license? Does their truck look legitimate? Do they, ask them a lot of the questions, or again, contact the Better Business Bureau and find out, is this company actually legitimate and able to work in the state?
Because they'll tell
that I'm
you if
here?
there are
So-
red flags that are concerned with it.
Absolutely.
We've got about 10 seconds, but it is the 90th anniversary today, 90th birthday of Social Security.
It is,
Yeah.
yeah. 90 years of making sure folks can retire and live the way that they want after they retire. And I mean, it's such a huge safety net for folks. We've
Sure.
earned it. You and I have probably paid into it since
We
we were
have.
teenagers. And so we want to make sure that it's there. So 90 years today, and our goal is to make sure that it's there for 90 more years.
Well, Josh Askig said this morning it's going to be around. AARP is going to help to make sure of that.
Absolutely.
Janelle, thank you so much. We appreciate you.